Welcome to our Breakfast Club call. My name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host on this beautiful Thursday evening. It is April 11th, 2024. I am so excited to be here. I remember when I first started upon the journey of entrepreneurship over a decade ago, I was looking forward to these morning mentorship calls. Not only was I looking forward to these morning mentorship calls because of the information I was going to receive, but I was looking forward to these morning mentorship calls because of the inspiration I was going to receive. Garbage in is garbage out, and greatness in is greatness out. So kudos to each and every single one of you guys that have decided to start your morning off with some inspiration. Our mindset, our subconscious mind is open the most in the morning and at night. So the fact that you are making a decision to start your morning off with some greatness speaks volumes about not only where you're at, but where you are going and how committed you are to your constant, excuse me, to your constant and never ending improvement. So welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. So I'm super excited. If you are registered for RTE, it is RTE week, right? And if you have no idea what that means it is our regional training event that is taking place in a city near you. A lot of you have been writing R in the chat because you are registered, and we spoke about making sure you have a guest, making sure that you actually have a guest registered for the RTE. So what that means is that you have committed to not only making sure that you have people in the city where you're at, but that you have city and other guests. And I encourage each and every single one of you guys, and we're going to do like a quick little, bonus training. Type BT in the chat. And what this is you can go into Facebook, right? You can go into Facebook and put my friends that live in Concord, North Carolina. I would say just put the state. My friends that live in Tampa, Florida, or my friends that live in the DMV area, my friends that live in Texas. And I would see all of the listing that comes up of your current friends, because how many of us know that people move all the time? And the regional training event is not only about you impacting your team and you making sure each and every single person on your team is registered and that you have guests in the city where you're going to be at, right? But that you have guests in each and every single city that the RTE is taking place at. Because see, the beautiful thing about legacy, the beautiful thing about impact, that it's not so much about only the impact that you're able to have in your life, but also the impact that you're able to have in the life of other people. So that is really and truly about what it is about. So it is amazing. I see so many of you guys are writing, yes, I have registered here and there. That is incredible. And making sure that we do that is not only going to be instrumental to our growth, but really the growth in our community. See, here's one thing that I do know for certain. There's going to be history taking place this Saturday, April the 13th, in a city near you. And this history is going to take place, that it may start in a city, it may start in the United States, but I promise you that this impact, this history will be made around the world. People will always be referring back to this day that took place. I've always wanted to be at the right place at the right time. Type of R in the chat if you're that person that's like, I've always wanted to be at the right place at the right time. Yes, I see the R's coming in. Make sure you're writing it to all panelists and attendees, right? Absolutely. See, but the reality is that being at the right place at the right time, and I once heard this and it really just blew my mind, okay? Being at the right place at the right time and not taking action is as if our presence had no value, is as if we weren't even there. And that is the beautiful thing about what we have our hands on right now. We were prepared for such a time as this, your entire life for this moment right here. And here's what I encourage everybody to do. If you have not registered, make sure you're registered, secretdirectevents.com, right? Somebody could type that in the chat, please, for our guests that are on the call. But if you're registered and you said, hey, I'm registered, Pam, I put the R's in the chat, but you're getting a guest there, right? And now you could go on Facebook and type my friends that live in city, my friends that live in the state where that RT is taking place. But really and truly, it speaks volumes about you making an impact in that's going to outlive you. You being able to knock down the domino. And that is what it's about. You being able to shed a light that is going to be unshakable, right? That is going to be that you undeniable because you decided to invite somebody else to the RTE taking place in a city near you, or one of the RTE taking place in over a dozen different cities this Saturday, April the 13th. And here's what I would do also if I were you. I would reach out to the local people in those cities and be like, hey, I have such and such coming. Is it okay? Now, don't assume that just because you sent a message, they read it, right? And don't assume that they're going to be able to. However, I would reach out to a few people. And this is why commitment always lasts longer in community. And this is also why it's so important to build relationships, right? Those covenant relationships, not the transactional ones, the real relationships, because you can reach out to the people in this market and say, hey, I have a guest coming. Hey, I have a guest coming. And even if you don't get a response back, here's the beautiful thing about our community. If you just tell your guest, hey, I'm a guest of such and such, just when you go ahead and introduce yourself, just say, hey, my friend such and such invited me. My friend Lisa invited me to the Tampa RTE. And just because you're a part of our community, the welcoming that your guests are going to get is going to be astronomical. Like, type a that's me in the chat if you're that person that you've invited somebody to an RTE before that was a guest, right? And somebody else took care of the rest for you. Somebody else said, hey, no worries. I'm going to take care of your guests, even if I didn't hear from you. Why? Because that's just the beautifulness of our community. So y'all know y'all tired of hearing me talk because I'm not the guest speaker today, but I'm super excited to bring up this young man because him and his wife have not only been doing incredible things around the world for their teams, but for our community and for people. I remember when I first was hearing about this man in particular, and I remember just being blown away, right? I've been in this industry for a little bit over a decade. And I remember they was talking about this man from Chicago, this man that was a counselor, this man that had, started with a little team and it completely blew up to a massive movement around the world. He was a counselor. He was dealing with women, counseling troubled teens, and absolutely was not only making noise in the city where he was from, but around the world. Before I ever met him in person, I met him through an audio. And I encourage each and every single one of you, if you're not registered for Inner Circle, see, the parties are out of this world, right? Like, we're going to have a party in St. Louis, Missouri. But if you're not registered for Inner Circle, you're playing yourself. Don't play yourself, pay yourself. Why? Because in the inner circles where you listen to the audios of the leaders, is where you listen to those conversations that take place in the hallway before you get in the room, right? But these inner circle conversations, I remember listening to an audio of this man, and I was like, before I ever met him in person, I already felt like I knew him because I was listening so often to his story. I was listening so often to his closing talks, to knowing that the person that is the most certain wins, right? Knowing, like, I remember so vividly already feeling as if I already knew him. And I remember walking in a big training event like Freedom Academy that we're going to have. And if you don't know, he's actually going to be one of our trainers for Freedom Academy, which is going to be absolutely incredible. Him and his beautiful wife. And before I ever saw him in person, I heard his voice in the hallway. And I was like, it's like my antennas went up. I was like, I recognize the voice. And the only reason I recognize the voice, guys, is because I was plugged in to a program similar to our Inner Circle. So get registered for the Inner Circle. The parties are amazing, but the access that you get to filling your mindset, because our mindset is where our mind sits, is out of this world. So without further ado, it is my honor, pleasure, and privilege to bring up our featured guest speaker, Mr. Roscoe Taylor. He is a Blue Diamond, 250 squared, and him and his wife have not only astronomically been killing it, but they've been having their teams killing it too, which speaks volumes. So Roscoe, I am so grateful. I know it is early. I'm so grateful that you are here, Mr. Living the Life 24/7. If you don't know what the LTL stands for in his Instagram, I'm telling you right now, right? But thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you again, brother. Tell the people a little bit about you, a little bit about your story. I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to kick it off to you.
Absolutely. Pam, first off, you are powerful. You are unbelievable. And this call right now, I'm just telling you, I'm watching the chats. People are so excited. Week after week, I see people on the Zoom, on the Zoom. I've been here for 2 minutes. I'm just telling you, this type of energy you could start your morning with every day. I understand why you're killing it, like for sure. So thank you for having me. It is early, but for you, Pammy P, no problem. I got you. But like Pam said, guys, my name is Roscoe Taylor. I appreciate all the accolades, Pam, but I'm not special, guys. I'm not different. I'm not better than anybody. I just was hungry. I used to be a counselor, as Pam was telling you guys, and I loved my job. I worked in group homes, right? So I worked with troubled teens. I worked with people who had TBIs. Those are traumatic brain injuries, right? So they're 57, but they function like they're 17 mentally, right? I work with people who had Asperger's, Down syndrome. I love what I did. I love giving back to the community, but I was making less than 30 grand a year. That's even back then, 2000, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not very much. So that's a lot of heartache. That's a lot of trauma. That's a lot to deal with to make that type of income and then come home and give my kids what I got left in the tank every day, guys. So I was open. I was one of those people who was just praying for something, looking for something, and lo and behold, this industry grabbed me. I didn't understand how it worked. I just knew it worked. Right? Just like the cell phone I'm talking to you guys about. I didn't really know how it worked, but I knew it worked. Right, so I just bought it. It's the same deal, and trusted that when I plugged in, the system would do what it was supposed to do, and it did. I'm just telling you, Freedom Academy is one of many events that this epic community has put together for people to just shine their brightest light. Right, just be your best self possible. And, the success in business has been great, but it really wasn't about the things I've accumulated or things I've bought and things I've been able to acquire. It's really just about the man I've been able to become, the lives I've been able to impact. The more people you help get what they want, the more stuff that you get that you want. So it's just inevitable. Put people first. Remember, there's a bunch of people out here who are desiring to have the same type of change in their life that I was having. And that's my story, guys. I just spent the last, I don't know, since I was 26 till now I'm 41, not conforming, not, settling and showing people there's a reason to believe. And there's a few people who are just ready to believe and they started to follow. And
I
here we
love
are.
it. Yes. Thank you so much. So
Mhm.
what an amazing story. And if you are brand new to our Breakfast Club call and you're like, when we do an interview style, we like to set it off. So we're talking about stories, we're talking about the emotions, and we're talking about the triggers, right? And these emotions take place from events. These emotions take place from the activity that we're doing. So we love to talk, and this is a conversation where this is the call for the builders, right? We're talking about people that not only want to take their businesses to the next level, but they want to add value to their community. And you're one of those people. I remember when I got the phone call, right? And we're like, Pammy P, we gotta take over the city. Right. It's cool what we're doing. It's cool what we're doing all over on Zooms, but we gotta get back to the in person. We got to get back to I'm willing to open up my home. And I was just like, I knew when I got that phone call from you, I was like, there was something different in your voice. And it was like, I knew that it was what was to come was going to be inevitable because of the commitment that I heard in your voice, but also what I saw in your actions, right? I saw that you're like, hey, you know what? If I am going to sacrifice time away from my lovely wife, from my boys, from my family, it is going to be worthwhile. And talk to us about what have been some of those ways that you have been inviting? Talk to us about, what are some of the ways that you have been launching business? Because I remember the travel party at your house with the guest, and just last night, this person just hit 1010. And this has happened within days, right? And this also goes to show that, you know, this was a person that is part of your son's community, right? So parents, this is a bonus training. If you don't got your kids in sports, and maybe they're not the athletic one, or maybe it's a sport, or it's um a community involvement of any sort, but network in where you're working, network within where you are, the spaces that you're occupying, right? This is one of your sons, basically your newest residual earner is one of your sons, DeAndre's friends, dad, and Jace's friends, that like, it's power of you not only networking where you're at, but also showing up as your authentic self and building the relationship. So talk to us about a little bit about what you're doing to invite, how you've been getting people started, and what keeps you consistent, because we gonna talk a little bit about a lot. But so go ahead, Roscoe. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Man, that question was loaded. You must go ahead and mute yourself for a minute. And if you ain't started writing already, now is the time. All right. I'm gonna give everybody 5 seconds. Go get a pen, grab a pad. You're in a car, pick up a different device, push record. Okay, go.
That's a fact. Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir. Note
right.
takers are history makers.
Okay. I'm gonna start off by just telling you guys, what I'm about to say can change your world if you want to. If you're ready for it to. If not, you need to make sure you're at Freedom Academy, because here's how simple the answer to the short answer to that question that she just gave me is very simple. Right on my cup. If you can't read that, it says, "All things are possible to those who believe." That is what we do. And that is what I've done. It's what happened to me, and it is the reality of why I push the way I push today. I work like I'm poor. Because I believe, right? The reason that I'm even here, because the very first words that came out of the person's mouth who introduced me to this was belief, right? Not the actual word, but that's all he was helping me understand, is I just needed belief. He even said to me, "I don't need you to believe in yourself, Roscoe." Right? I'm giving you. I'm saying I got to say the details. If you want to hear the guts of the story and all the stuff I left out, they're gonna have to be at Freedom. But he said, "I don't need you to believe in you." That's crazy. I don't even need you to believe in this industry they call network marketing. I don't need you to believe in that. I need you to believe in me. You've never done anything with me before. And that is the reason I'm here today. And if that guy didn't have the guts to talk to me that way, I don't know what my life would look like, guys. So the answer starts with belief. First off, if you don't believe, then you don't understand fully what you have. So that's why I will encourage you. Get to Saturday, right? If you're not going to, if you don't believe to the point right now where you're showing people urgently, you need to be at Saturday. You can't afford to miss it, because what's going to happen is, right, what you fail to realize, not you in particularly, just the person that's giving themselves excuses every day, right? The person that doesn't mind telling their future self, right, some type of random justification of why they're still at where they're at in 20 years, where they were 20 years ago. Okay, for those people, okay, I'll tell you, here's the most important thing you have to realize. Pam's just been talking about it for the last 5 minutes, right? Your network and networking, you're in this environment, network. I think what people fail to realize is you don't have a choice in having a network. That that's life. Unless you're a hermit or you live isolated in a rock, so under a rock somewhere, you have a network. You don't have a choice. The reality is 98% of people just don't work it. You got a network, you just don't work it. Okay, so what I understand, why I push the way I push, um, what I know is this. And this is where my belief is. My belief is Isaac Ben Shabbat and the Ben Shabbat family. created a multi-billion-dollar legacy long before they met us. That I know. I believe that. Right? There's no question. That is facts. Um, I also believe, without a shadow of a doubt, had they not met us, they go on to grow this legacy to multi-billions regardless. So what that helps me understand is that we're very fortunate to be here. So if you don't understand that, you need to be here at wherever RT is nearest you in the building on Saturday, because what's happened is nothing at all. It's not even it's not even close to what's about to happen in the progression of where these guys are taking us right now. All right. So why do I push the way I do? Because I know I'm not the only person who's struggling. I was struggling. I was praying for somebody not to pass me by one more time. I see people on Mondays and Tuesdays, cutting grass and packing up their truck to go fishing. I saw those people when I used to have a job running to work every day, and I would pray to figure out how do I get to that caliber of lifestyle, right? So I push because I know I'm not the only person out there who needs something. I know I'm not the only person out there who's struggling. Most people are struggling because you're trying to get people to join your team so you can get what you want, right? If you just have the simple realization is, damn, there's 98% of people don't have what they want. So the second you meet them, if you can just put belief in them that it's possible, not that you have the answers, but you're connected to people that do, right? Not that you know how to live your dreams, but that you are connected to people that do, okay? Right? Not that you have the answers to life, but you are connected to people that do, right? And I made $1 million by the time I was 31, just connecting people, literally telling people, I don't know, but I'm connected to people who do. How's it work? I don't know, but I'm connected to the dude who can tell you all the answers. Do you know a guy who's going to give you the answers to life? No, I didn't think so. So you want to meet my friend, you better take the shot I'm giving you now, because I'm not going to have time to come back and get you. I got to call everybody else I know. I'm just talking to you now because I love you. So you're struggling. Oh, you can't afford your kids' tuition either. I couldn't either. Right? I didn't. Right? I don't know. All I know is there was a guy who did know, and I just plugged into him because I like you. I could introduce you to him. Right? This is how simple I build our business. Right? So another one of the questions you asked is about my invite these days. I've put in, I don't even know, 16, 17 so personals or so in the last week or two, or I don't know, whatever it is. I'm not really counting because, right, just happening, right? Why? Because I believe in what I have. So what do? I use it, right? I went to the movies last week. I took my wife to see One Love, Bob Marley movie. I used it. I happened to be talking to a friend I hadn't talked to in a few years, right? Because he saw me on social media, and he just happened to go to the movies with his wife the week before as well. That conversation made him a member, right? This isn't rocket science, guys. It's like I spent $33 for two drinks, two movie tickets and a popcorn. You went with your wife. You spent $77 for the same situation. Right? It's not rocket science. So it's like, all right, I believe because I use what I have. So how does my invite go? My invite is my close. Right? My invite is my, are you ready to get started as well? All right. It's not a conversation. All right. I literally just call the people that I love who have been watching me live this reality for the last almost 2 decades. And I just tell them, I'm sorry. Sorry. I love you. Right? I know things could be better. Right? And I just tell them, because somebody loved me enough to plug me into the community I'm a part of. I tell them my story, the same story you just heard. I was a counselor the last time we saw each other in college. I was a counselor the last time we had a phone conversation when I ran into you at the restaurant at that time, back way when. I was a counselor when, right? But because I plugged into a community, today I live the life 24/7. I own every second of my world every day when I wake up. And that happened in a community of people who were just friends. And then it quickly, because of what we were doing and what we were engaged in, how we were growing our minds, they were strangers that became friends, and those friends are today my family. But because of COVID, I'm in a situation where I can come back to the people I love. Because of COVID, I'm in much, much, much more blessed and richer opportunity, and I'm led by a gentleman who has, not only is a multi-billionaire, he has a heart to serve. So he told me I could come get anybody that I care about, and I love you. So I will not do this for another 10 years without you. I got big plans coming up soon, and you and your family are going to come with me. I'm coming back for you. That's my invite. Literally. I can tell you the rest. You'll hear their freedom. But at the end of the day, they're already in before I click. I don't usually click the slide until they're already in the system. Then I show them what they're buying and what I just gave them access to and why they should be so thankful that I called them back. So I hope that answers all your questions in one, but I can elaborate anywhere that you want me to.
I mean, it's, it's interesting, right? Because I know we have a mixture of people on this call, and there's some people that are like, well, I love the fact of how you answered this question, because some people may be coming from the perspective of, well, he's a 7-figure earner. Of course, he's going to believe, right? Of course, he's going to have that level of belief in the Ben Shabbat family. But I'm brand new. I haven't even sat at a Shabbat dinner. But see, here's another thing that you said. That level of belief and that certainty comes because you're a product of the product. That belief and that certainty also comes because you've been using your membership. And that is why it's the beautiful aspect of what we got our hands on. So, and that's why I love telling people is like, you could use this. Yes, you could use this for travel. A1, top tier, world-class experiences, the access you get. But every day, you're saving money on things you're going to do to have fun, on places you're going to go eat, on things you're going to do anyway. It just makes sense to save money and still have even better access. So if you find yourself at a point where you're like, man, my level of belief ain't where it needs to be for me to call my friends with the certainty that a Roscoe Taylor has, here's how you get certainty. Here's how you get that belief. Go use your back office.
Use
your product. Go use it right now. Because if crazy, you went to see the same One Love movie, right? With your wife, spent $33 for popcorn, drinks, and tickets, and somebody else had the same experience, but because they didn't have the same access, their experience was different and it was costing them more. So I love the fact that it's so natural, but you're just like, somebody believed enough and is like, maybe I don't know, but I can connect you. So there's so many things that you said. It was like, maybe you don't know, but you can connect them to the person that has more belief than you. And if you're struggling to get that belief, whether you've been in for a week, a year, a day, a month, go use your product. Go use exactly what you have. One of my friends is interesting because I was just telling her, I was like, there's like activities, like there's like, you can go do, I was looking up in Atlanta, Georgia, and there's like over 200 activities that you can go do, from like civil rights movements to wine tours, like all in your back office. And they were like, I didn't even know I had access to this. I was like, I know, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Trust me. Sometimes I don't know what we all got going on. And I'm always like in there, like, oh, what else can I find today? What is like a kid in the candy store, right? What else can I find today? And I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Sco, for sharing that. So so that level of belief, right? So has got you inviting. And I know you've been putting in personals, like over a dozen personals in the last 10 days, and probably close to 2 dozen. But now here's another thing that you're doing. And I've saw you do this like hands-on. You got somebody started, right? It was a travel party. And I remember this young man and his wife sitting in your living room, seeing this information, and them going from, hey, yeah, I'm not really gonna build this business. I don't really have time for it, but I'll send you the people. And now they're like, they not only hit 1 level of residual, they hit the 2nd level of residual in like 10 days. I can't wait to call them later.
Right? And they're on my phone every day. They're the first people to call me every morning. Like, hey, when's the next presentation? I'm like, I thought I wasn't doing this.
But here's why. You made it easy for them to get started. When you launched their business, right? You didn't wait for them to take action. You were taking action. So talk to us about what keeps you so consistent, right? Because I know you said something about, well, I want to help other people, but also how easily that, even when somebody tells you, hey, I'm not going to do it at this level, you still kind of keep them engaged to where they are on fire without even realizing it. And it's like you sparking a fire on the fire, on the flame, right? You adding gas to that flame of some sort. And I love that because it's like I believe that there's people that everybody has a burning desire within them. Everybody has something that they want, whether that's freedom, whether that's fun, whether it's something that's fulfilling. But you did it so eloquently that it's just like it was seamless. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So talk to us about that, please.
So absolutely, Pam. So first off, Pam just talked to you about our membership and how dope it is. Right? You have to use it. Right? So I don't have to spend much time convincing or talking. I am living a quality of lifestyles that forces you to be curious. Okay, you have to be if you're paying attention. And so first off, our membership gives you the ability to just do that, live your dopest life. Right? Feel your best, look your best. So if you're doing that, who doesn't want to be attracted to people who are winning and going where they know where they're going and excited about where they are. Okay, so just you um, you know, like attracts like, right? So you've heard that. Right? So power of attraction. So whatever you are is what you're attracting. And so that's where it starts. Okay? And my energy is just says yes, right? No matter what it is, whatever around me, my energy says yes. I don't know what dude is doing, but yeah, yes. All right, let's have a conversation. Let's shake his hand. Let's say I'm very welcoming, right? And I wasn't. I learned to be this way, right? Because this is my business, right? So answer your question, right? Why do I do the things the way I do? Why am I so passionate? Why do I stay so consistent? Because I'm a boss. Right? Like what? Right? Why? What am I supposed to do? It's like it's funny. I watch people like pray for the have, all these things, but you know what bosses go through? And my boy Mo Jones will tell you, but if you're a boss, that means we're building our success stories, which means ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. Okay, so when those people join my team, right? Those people, right, they bought a membership the same as I did. So I'm an adult that bought a membership. They're adults that bought a membership, just like you, just like Pam, just like all of us. But they also chose to join my business, right? But they joined my business. How they run their business ain't got nothing to do with how I run my business. Right? I change up what I do because they didn't want to build their business. Right. So what I help these people understand is I just show them by example what I got the membership. Remember, they got the membership, but I show them for the people who are engaged in the business, right? They just happen to see what that looks like because I make sure I put that in front of them, right? Because they also bought one. They didn't plan on engaging in building it. So what I do is very simple, right? I always keep them engaged in understanding where the fun will be happening, where they can get around the campfire, where they can plug in. Right? So if ever they're having a rough day, long day, boss getting on their nerves, when they come to our event, right? They're their own boss. Right? Ain't nobody getting on their nerves. They're plugged around positive, like-minded people. Two, I'm running my business. So even though they're just chilling on theirs, there's something called the binary structure, and timing and placement is serious. So all I did, because they did buy a business, they're learning about their membership. When I see them at basketball practice, they ask me, "Where do we get those discount tickets again to get? Remember you told us about the restaurant?" I show them where that is. Right. But because they bought the business, I also just reminded them every time that business grew. Had nothing to do with them, no efforts of their own. But every time I continue to run my business, right, I would have to congratulate them because their business was growing too. So I would just send them a text and just say, "Congratulations, your team just grew." And then 2 days later, "Congratulations, your team just grew. Dot 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 again." And then a day later, I get a question. "Hey, how did you get in the? I need to book a flight. Or somebody wants to go to. I just want to check it out." "Okay, perfect. This is how you go there. Oh, by the way, dot dot dot. Congratulations, your team grew again." Right? People can only take so much of that. They don't know how this works. But if I keep sending them text messages, the one thing they're absolutely certain about is it works. They don't know how it works, but it's working. Remember what I just told you at the beginning of my story? I didn't know how this thing worked, but my friend was winning. So I didn't know how it worked, but I knew it was working. So immediately I just had what? Belief. That's it. Right. They buy the membership, they are using it, they'll create their own story, which will build their belief on the product side. But my job is to build belief in the business that I told them is creating my quality of lifestyle, the business that I told them I'm serious about. All right. To Pam's point earlier, yes, I'm a seven-figure earner, but I did the same thing when I was making 28 grand a year and I first got this membership. Right. I built belief by using the membership and telling people with absolute certainty what it was doing for me. Right. And even back then, when I signed the person up and they joined the team and I sent them a text message and said, "Hey, congratulations, your team's growing." I didn't have to be a seven-figure earner for them to believe that it was working. It was working. And that's the more that people believe, guess what happens? The more action they take. And that's what happened to my friends. They just, I don't know how it works, but it's working. So this belief caused them to take some action, pick up their cell phone and call me and go, how? Well, we'll keep it PG, but WTF. Right? Like, oh, you know what? What's the next step? I plug them back to the system. Hey, listen, the next event, so you can understand how that all works, meet some of the people that are joining your community and understand what's about to happen is come out to the next event. What's the next? The most important event is the next event. Whatever the next event is the most important event. I invited them to the next event. Right. So that was the action that they took. They came out. That action yielded them to be able to not only did they come, right? They brought a person or two with them. That person got started. So then they got some results. And that's how simple the system is, guys. Build belief. People believe, they'll take action. People take action, they create results. And a few days ago, that text message sparked some action that caused us to have a double ranking residual earner in a week or something. So it's been crazy. It's just the
I
beginning, guys.
love that. I love that. And it's like that action cures everything, right? That
Of course.
action builds belief, that action builds results and resorts too, but that action builds that consistent action is what builds these success stories. And it's truly beautiful because you see it happening in the market, right? And the level of excitement, and we're going to talk about the events, right, that kind of have been happening that have been exciting for you right now in this very moment, and things that you're looking forward to, like what's coming up. But it's like these exciting events is because of the level of belief, but that level of belief has also stemmed from you consistently taking action. Is like the more you take action, the more it's just going to come. Like I always say, God never lets hard work go unnoticed. That's just it. It's like you can that's how you stir up momentum, is by getting into momentum,
Yeah.
and I have been doing my best to continue to lead from the front. Why? Because I know it's not how you come out of the training event, but how you go into the training event is how you come out. So if you're not going into this regional training event this Saturday, showing the deal, making the calls, sending out the messages, do not think for a second that something is just going to magically spark that is going to keep you on fire. You got to go into this event on fire. You got to go into this event consistent. You got to go into this event taking action. So thank you so much, Sko, for sharing that with us. Talk to us about training, the importance of training, right? The importance of not only, these exciting events have taken place of you having new residual earners, you having people having new experiences through the membership, through the club. I know we got so many trips coming up. We got Italy coming up. We got people going to Dubai. We got people going to South Africa. But talk to us about the importance of the training. I know you're going to be one of our trainers at Freedom Academy. I am so excited to see you, Mamba Gooch, run the stage. And I know we got room for more. And I don't know exactly what the rest of the lineup, but just with that alone, I'm just like, yeah, let me make sure I got like a few extra tickets. I don't know who I know in St. Louis, but I might have to just go on and take my own advice about what I said. Like, who do I know in St. Louis, Missouri? I'm going on Facebook later and see that. But also, talk to us about the importance of training. You are a multiple seven-figure earner in this industry. Your kids have more stamps on their passports in their childhood, in their infancy, really, before the age of 10, before, down to before even being 13, 14 years old. than most adults will in their lifetime. Do you think any of this would have been possible without you going to training?
I love the way you asked that question. God, yes, Pam is a professional. She's a pro. You guys don't even know how blessed you are to have her. Okay, so it's funny to me because it's a joke to think you're going to change your life, right? Without literally finding, like, I gotta move the camera closer because I don't want you know, uh, this is non-negotiable for people who are ready to change their situation. Non-negotiable. Training isn't. It's not. It's not even something that we're having a conversation about whether or not you're going to be there. It's just. A, it's really how quickly you want to change your situation, which determines how many more people besides yourself should you be bringing with you there. That's that's the only conversation that we should be having about training. It's because, let me tell you, right? I was a counselor. Okay, so my skill set was understanding how to pass medications, understand how to defuse escalated situation, right? Um, Understanding how to write progress reports, right? Understanding how to teach personal interaction skills and personal hygiene skills. Okay, are those skills going to make me a millionaire? Okay, right in the chat, right? Not rhetorical. Answer that question. Is teaching people how to wash under their underarms, teaching people how to pick the right deodorant to get to. Again, I loved what I did, right? I loved working with a 13-year-old young man who's about to become a man, teach him how to be a man because I didn't have a father growing up, right? I love working with a battered woman who's hoping to understand you're not battered, you're blessed, right? You have a story that's about to be a testimony. But that skill set, that one actually what I'm really doing right there, if you heard what I said, is just building belief. That skill will make me a millionaire. And going to events like Freedom Academy training is what taught me that every day I'd wake up and do something what I thought was mundane every single day, right? But I realized I was building something all the time. I always had a network in place, but I wasn't necessarily working my network. I wasn't understanding that my network was my net worth until I plugged into a training. I didn't realize that from my extremely dissatisfied, under par situation, right? Just struggling and literally to say life is real, say life is life and is an understatement. The crazy part is half of the things that I needed to understand to get out of that situation, I was already doing, which is crazy. Most of you are already doing, you're already building belief in somebody, you're already overcoming some objection, you're already showing a person, you're already transferring your emotion to someone in some area of life on a daily basis. But you just aren't you're not plugged into a training, so you don't have the mindset that helps you understand what that that your freedom, right? Your freedom. This is the reality. Your life is this is our comfort zone, and we all live here, right? The job you have is in here because that's how intensive of a resume you wanted to fill out. You could have went for that other job, but you didn't want to do that 10-hour interview, right? Your kids could have went to a different school, but you didn't want to move to that area. You definitely want to figure out an address over there. You didn't want to figure out how to get the extra income. You didn't want to do the paperwork to get the grant and funding. So you got what you're as comfortable as doing right now. This is your comfort zone and you live in it. We all do. Everything you want in life, everything you dream about when you close your eyes, your reality is in the circle, but everything you dream about when you close your eyes is right out. It's right here. It's literally right there, sitting there. All right, the car you want to drive, sitting right there. All right, you stuck with your Honda. You stuck with your Honda because that's where your comfort zone is. Right, you stuck with your Maserati is sitting right there. All we got to do is grow your comfort zone a little bow, and it falls in. Now it's yours. It's that simple. That simple. Let's grow your comfort zone. Everything in your comfort zone is expanded. Your wealth zone expands. Everything you want just falls in. Boop, boop, boop. House you want it. Wow, it just fell on top of the house you live in today. Right? Relationship you want is right here. Relationship you want is right here. The relationship you dream about is right there. Let's just get a little bit more uncomfortable. Expand that comfort. Wow. Relationship of your dreams right there. All right. But average people won't force themselves to get uncomfortable. That's why you're average. And you'll end that way. And it's okay. I just didn't want to have to explain that to my kids. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do. When I invite people, I tell them that, right? Everything you want in life is just a decision away. All right. So you can either decide, right, and come with me, or you can explain to your son why you never got to do any of the stuff he watched my son do. I love him. That's my nephew, but at the end of the day, you want me to explain it to him for you? Or you, oh, okay. That's, but, at the end of the day, guys, I don't have time to coddle people's feelings. I'm building futures. So there's no room for feelings.
Drops mics, exits rooms. I don't got time to coddle people's feelings. I'm building for their future. Jesus Christ. Taking everybody to church this morning. I know that's right. Man, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for blessing us the way that you have always, especially this morning. We're super grateful for your time, your energy, your talents, your gifts that you are just blessing us with today. Thank you so much. I'm
Thank
just
you,
gonna
man.
turn it.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Yeah, this platform is unbelievable. I'm just telling you, you're changing people's worlds. Training is the reason people like you take those talents and just take them further than commercial banking and TV, guys. I'm just letting you know, training's non-negotiable. Pam, you're a blessing, and I can't wait to see everybody at Freedom Academy.
Thank you so much. Right before we end this call, I'm just gonna turn it back over to you. If there's anything that you want to say to the people, anything that is on your heart, whether you're talking to someone that is brand new, whether you're talking to somebody that's been in for some time, whatever you want to just leave them with parting words before we get up on out of here, the floor is right back to you. Thank you again, Roscoe. Greatly appreciate you.
It is no problem. I greatly appreciate you as well, Pam, and this community, each and every one of you. Every one of you comment in the chat. Why? Because that means I'm not crazy. That means I don't believe by myself. Right? That's what that means. Every one of you that come in that chat means I'm just not some crazy person out here. There's a bunch of other people who believe in themselves too, believe God's guidance, believe there's more, believe the future can be brighter, right? So go find us. Here's the struggle. You're out there trying to take that person who, if you met them on the street, if you saw them in line at a gas station, you would be talking to that person, and never would you want to have another conversation with that person. Never would you want that person to be around your kids, right? Think about this, right? This is a community I raised my children in. Some people aren't qualified to have this conversation. Some people don't deserve to be on our. Let me not say that, because I feel like everybody deserves to have more in life, but they don't mean they got to have it with me. And it ain't mean they got to have it around my babies. Okay. So at the end of the day, you got to qualify to be in this club. It's invite only. Okay. So what I would encourage you to do is realize what you got and start sorting. Stop wasting your time trying to make people understand how dope this is. Live it. Right. Wake up and live your dreams. Don't just stop dreaming about them and start living them. And I promise you, right? I promise you, people who are your vibe, who share your energy, who want what you want, who want to have the conversations with their children you're having with their conversations, you're having with your children, right? The young man that Pam just told you about. You know how many parents? Do you know how many parents I see on a daily basis, right? But Chris and Giselle, when you meet these guys, they are dope. Their energy is insane. I walked in, oh, hey, I don't know who that is, but all right, like attracts like. I showed them because I can't wait to go on a vacation with these people. You know how many other parents? No disrespect to the parents, and I love y'all babies too. But you know how many parents I walk by every day like, how's this guy? Not yet. We gonna let that guy work on him a little bit longer, right? Because it's my membership. It's my business, and I get to decide who I want to work with and who deserves my time, guys. So remember, I didn't decide that when I became a seven figure. I decided that I was 26 years old, living in my mama's house, making 28 grand. Actually, I was unemployed, making $0. When I got my hands on this opportunity, and I believe, because the person who showed me believed, I took a different type of action versus people who just signed up to get some stuff. I believed. I knew where I was going the day I joined. So my action was different from the day I joined, which means my results have been different since the day I joined. So I would just I would encourage you, sort faster, make less excuses, get better results.
Sheesh, breakfast has been served. Sort faster, make less excuses, get better results. Roscoe, truly honor, pleasure, and privilege to have you bless us today. I cannot wait to get this recording out because I know it's going to impact even more lives and bless more people. Thank you again for your leadership. Thank you for your familyship. I over appreciate how consistent you are, how great of a leader you are. And I'm grateful that you are that person behind doors, that you are in front of doors. I'm grateful that you are someone that I learn from every single day. I'm grateful that I know that I'm not only someone that can depend on you, but that I never have to question about should I have edified you. And I'm so grateful that you are who you say you are over and over and over again. And your actions speak volumes. And I cannot wait for you to bless us at Freedom Academy. Thank you so much. I know the DMV is going to be on fire this weekend as well. Make sure you guys are registered, secretdirectevents.com. Breakfast has been served. Thank you again, Sco. Greatly appreciate you. Make sure you guys show love to Roscoe in the chat. DM him, LTL247 and Instagram. But blessings on blessings. Grateful for you. See you guys Saturday, April 13th. And we see you at Freedom Academy. If you guys thought this was good, imagine what he's going to do like when he's on stage, right? Like it's going to be next level. So without further ado, breakfast has officially been served. Thank you again, Sco. God bless. Much love, bro. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. See y'all at Freedom.